I am going to put on what I consider my sort of typical makeup look. So not my super minimal get out the door quick makeup, but also not my doing the most going out. I don't really go out, but if I did go out, doing the most contour, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This is just kind of casual day to day, but with a little they them spice, if you will. And if you are new here, which I know a good amount of you are, welcome. My name is Cam, and I am a non-binary and queer makeup lover and lover of the beauty community. I really enjoy interacting with beauty products, sometimes buying beauty products, learning about trends in the industry, but I also want to always remain critical about what I personally buy and also about the ginormous corporations or even smaller companies that are wanting us to buy things from them, especially in this economy. And so I know a good amount of y'all are new here because Home as Tom shouted me out on their community tab, and also Queer Bones, Colin, shouted me out when they did the trans inclusive tag. So I want to thank them mightily. I already have, but I want to thank them again because they both were so kind in shouting my channel out. So yeah, we can get into the makeup look now. So I wanted to do this video because whenever I am starting this channel really in earnest just this year, just this month even. So whenever I start watching somebody new, I kind of like to know or learn what their sort of baseline routine is, what they like to do every day, what techniques they use, what sort of products and brands they gravitate toward, all of that. And since I don't have any videos right now of me actually applying makeup on my channel, I thought just a super simple application daily makeup look would be apt and perhaps useful in introducing myself and my makeup tendencies to y'all. And like I said, this is a very mid-range makeup look for me. It's not get out the door in less than 10, but it's also not doing the most. Whenever I do remember, sometimes I forget, and halfway through I'm like, I didn't put on lip balm. I needed to do that. I always try to put on a lip balm before I start my application, just so even at the end, if I just put on another lip balm or another glowy makeup product, I will have hydrated lips, which I do not have right now, let me tell you. The one I've been using and gravitating toward is the Glossier Balm.com. Glossier Balm.com. This is the cookie butter shade flavor, whatever. They released this 2021 Christmas, and I think limited edition products at Glossier like sometimes come back, sometimes they don't. I think this was vaguely available maybe in Europe and maybe still is. I don't know. But also now they're reformulating the Balm.coms. But this is like basically used up. I'm like having to really, although more keeps coming out, so but it has like a sheer caramel tint. I don't even think you can buy this anymore, but I do enjoy it. And I can't even recommend I love the original Balm.com or whatever. I don't know if this was OG, but whatever the most recent Balm.com formula was before they reformulated it, I really enjoy. But I don't think you are guaranteed getting this formula when you order now. Some people are still getting it. Some people are getting the new one, which they didn't want. I don't know. And it's like quite the departure. They took out like the two, like this hydrates with lanolin and beeswax, I think. And they took both those ingredients out. So what do I do next? What do you do next, Cameron? So, sometimes I do eyes. Sometimes I do brows. And sometimes I just go ahead with the base. Today I do want to do eyes first. But I also often forget to do my brows. So whenever I do remember to do my brows, I just get them out of the way because I hate doing my brows. And lately I have been truly doing the least with my brows. I've just been putting a tinted brow gel through them. I've gone through phases where I will try soap brows or brow gels, but not only are my brow hair stubborn, but something about the way my bones are. The front tail, like always just like, I don't know. I like, even if they are sticking up, they will fall because just like where the brows are and my face on my skull. I don't know. So I've kind of given up on ever having like a super lifted look, and I just kind of put a tinted brow gel in, and that's fine, and I call it a day. I do quite like this one though. This is the Milk Cooper. Okay. This is the Milk Kush Fiber Brow Gel. Okay. It's in the shade Dutch, which is a good shade name. And it's like a, you know, kind of neutral brown. And it's nice. I have actually, for as much Glossier as I've tried, funnily enough, I've never tried a tinted boy brow. But I know this is often compared to like a boy brow type product. It's really nice. It tints super evenly. I could go in and draw with like a brow marker or brow pencil, both of which I have. I just don't want to, quite frankly, so I haven't been lately. And this has been fine. And again, I feel like I can put 20 minutes into my brows and they still will like fall or just not do what I want them to, because like stubbornness plus the bones in my face. So face structure, I suppose you could say. Doing the least is nice because it's low effort, and then I feel like I get the same results from when I've fussed. If I was to go in with something, it would probably be the Glossier Brow Flick in brown. Mine is like in need of a replacement probably, but I guess I could, you know what, let's do it. I would actually normally do this before, but and I just like kind of fill in more, and just because I have a lot of hairs here that I should pluck, but it hurts and takes effort, so I don't. I mean, I don't think that really did much. That's fine. And then I also have the Kosas brow pencil, which is a really nice brow pencil, I will say. It's probably the most impressive thing I've tried from Kosas, actually. I just haven't felt like doing the effort. But it has a really nice spoolie, and it's like really nice to hold in the hand, so I will probably just keep this forever for the spoolie. Now we're gonna do eyes. I normally prefer to do eyes first, even if it is a simple eye look, because I like to shape my eyeshadow with concealer. Start with the Alter Ego eye primer. I like this one because it works well. Like, I think, you know, does what an eyeshadow primer should. Honestly, the thing that really gives it the edge is that it has a doe foot. For some reason, I think there's nothing more annoying than when an eyeshadow primer, like, you have to squeeze it in your hands. Like, I'm just not interested in doing the work, quite frankly. We're just going to use a liquid shadow and one of the Pat McGrath special shades. I'm going to start with Glossier Skywash and Echo. I would normally go in with this one. This is from REM Beauty. This formula is a lot better, actually. It's in the shade Heart, but the heart is a less than sign and a 3, because REM is too cool for school. They're kind of similar shades. Glossier is a little bit more red and dark, but similar. I think we're gonna do a Glossier video soon, since they're about to be in Sephora, and I feel like I have a helpful perspective since a lot of people haven't tried Glossier in years, and I have. I want to make sure I'm refreshed on all the products. I will say this is a risk because this, I mean, spoiler alert, Skywashes are not my favorite formula they make. I do really like this shade though. So I'm gonna place it on my eyelid. Say a silent prayer to your favorite pop goddess, and I'm gonna try to blend it and pat it out with this rougher one that's a little bit stained. Don't judge me. I feel like that probably looks a little patchy because it's a little patchy. No, I'm trying to decide if I should add more. I don't think I'm gonna add any more. I think I'm actually going to go over it with a matte from the Pat McGrath palette, and that might be the most helpful thing to do. I'm gonna go into this like rosy, this rosy brown. And the Pat McGrath Mothership 5, I think, on Seduction. I'm just gonna use that same brush. I'm gonna like try to make this less patchy. Okay, now for the thing that is actually way more common that I do. A lot of times I will just do like what I just did with the liquid shadow, maybe another powder matte, Then I'll just go in with like a special shade because it's cute. So this is one of the Pat McGrath special shades in the bronze Seduction. I have no idea what it's called. Vixen Orgy, I have no idea. Let's say that. But it's like the one that's green, but has like a little bit of a flip and has some almost like maroon brown rusty in it. It's great. It's probably my favorite shade in the palette. And I literally just pick it up on my finger and just tap it on. Yeah, just like that. Just like a light wash. Well, not really light because this is pretty intense, but just like scattered glitter is what I'm looking for. And you might notice I'm not using glitter glue. And I do have glitter glue. But one, I don't love how glitter glue makes the bake shades look because I like it being scattered. And I feel like when you do glitter glue, it makes it more opaque, which I don't really enjoy. And also, I used to really be scared of fallout. Like, I would barely use shimmer because I would be like, oh my gosh, I can't have like any fallout. I hate when I have fallout. But the thing is, like, when you have like a lot of shimmer on your eye, just contextually, when someone looks at you, they're going to be more inclined to look at that shimmer than like if there's 4 pieces of that shimmer on your under eye, you know? Or at least that's what I tell myself. So I don't know, life is so much more fun when we don't care about fallout, is really what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna take a fluffier brush, the Ref 27, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of Glossier wowder, just any powder, any old powder, to help blend a little. And we'll come back and punch up the eye look a little. So now I'm gonna I'm gonna do some primer. I usually use a primer. Just did my skincare routine not more than an hour ago. I like to refresh my skin and make sure it is the way I like for it to look before makeup application. I'm gonna use 2 primers today actually. Both of these are on my project pan. I'm gonna use the Glossier futuredew and the REM Beauty pore diffusing primer. I'm not going to show you that for that long because I don't want you to get a spoiler for my project pan. The REM Beauty pore diffusing primer, I said in my project pan intro, this really isn't a favorite, but I just want to use it up. It's fine. It doesn't really mattify at all. It just gives, I don't know, I guess a little bit of a blur. I'm not even sure if it does that, to be frank, but it's fine. And this, I don't even do like a full pump. I'll do like, I guess half a pump, 40% of a pump, which would be 2/5 of a pump. I just focus out on the high points of my cheeks and my forehead. One of the biggest concerns for me when applying makeup is that I do have I have like noticeable forehead lines, and makeup really loves to sink into them. And I do find that futuredew makes the skin glowy and stuff, but it also has some really nice smoothing and preps the skin really well to receive the makeup and make it, in my experience, look quite a bit smoother and not sink into those forehead lines as much, which is what I'm always going for. And then if I really want, which usually I do, usually I really, really want to, I take the REM Beauty Always an Optimist 4-in-1 Mist, shake it, and shake it, okay. And then I probably would have done a couple more sprays, but I don't need y'all to know how much actual setting spray I use. This just helps because there is like a viscosity to that spray, which I really like. And it kind of helps the primers sink in. It also just gives my skin another light layer of hydration. I am all about light layers of hydration. I just kind of pat that in and it gives my skin a really nice texture to receive makeup. So that's great. I almost like it more as a prime. I mean, I like it to set and, well, not really set, but I like it at the end of makeup application too, but I like it just as much, if not more, at the beginning. Going in with another project pan item, this Glossier Stretch Concealer in G11. I use this as an all over base, and what I've been doing lately is going in with the Phytosurgeon Sky Fluff. Oh, let's not see how dirty this brush is. Oh well. And I literally just start working it in. I do drag everything through my beard because I do have redness underneath my beard, and it looks a little bit odd when that pokes through. The shade of the stretch concealer, it's in G11, and it's a little pink for me, but it's okay, we make it work. So now we're gonna go in with my Kosas Revealer Concealer. I don't want to show y'all the tube because, again, Project Pan spoiler, but it's in the shade 01 Neutral. Put this under my eyes, maybe a little on my nose, and a little on my cheeks. And so I'm gonna go in with the Real Techniques, I think the writing's rubbed off, like the foundation brush. You've seen it before, you've probably owned it. I'm gonna go back in with a concealer and just clean up my eyeshadow. I think that helps. Again, I feel like it doesn't look as good on camera for whatever reason, but okay. Going for a little cream bronzer. Again, I'm not going to show you this pan because, say it with me, it's on my Project Pan. This is the Salt New York Sculpt and Bronze Cream Tint Pro in Light. I'm actually going to go back to the Phytosurgeon's brush and like just rub it dub in the pan. You can really go ham with this cream bronzer, especially the shade for me. It definitely bronzes, but it's pretty natural. So again, pretty subtle on the bronze, but it's nice. I like it. Now we're gonna do a little blush. We're gonna do a little blush. I'm gonna go in with an oldie but a goodie. This is Jason Wu Biscotti. It's a multi-stick that honestly is, I feel like, more marketed as a lipstick, but I actually much prefer it as a cheek product. And mine is like, been through it, like this, the actual bullet is like fallen out before, and yeah. So I like to keep it down here so it doesn't come out. And it's really pretty color. It's like a browny, rosy color. And you can get Jason Wu on Target, and I think maybe like Beauty Bay or Beautylish, probably Beauty Bay. So that's like a really nice bronzer for me. A lot of times I'll just wear this alone or something similar to this alone because it is so, I feel like, natural to my skin, and it's a really nice neutral, like super actually neutral color on me. So that looks pretty good. And I would leave it there some days, and in fact I might leave it there. Do I want to? I think I might add a powder blush later. I've been back into cream and liquid highlights, using my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter a lot since that is in my Project Pan. But again, I'm going to go in with another Glossier product. This is the Haloscope in Quartz. And I unfortunately do apply this with my hands. I would prefer if I could apply it with a brush, but this type of formula is like basically just tinted Vaseline, so it's going to apply best with the finger. It's super subtle, glass skin. It does do something, but it's not like, you know, the most exciting highlight or even most exciting cream highlight. But it's pretty. This is where I start to address my forehead lines. So the Glossier Stretch Concealer does pretty well over them, and then I think the prep I did helped, but I don't know if you'll be able to, 1, 2, 3, see. Yeah. They're just like coming through a little bit more than I would like, so I always just go back with maybe, you know, this brush or the Phytosurgeon's one, and I just keep, from here on out, I just will like tap on them throughout the steps. And then at the end, I'll put on some setting spray and I'll really tap in with my fingers. And I think the heat of my fingers helps reduce the product looking like it's living inside the lines on my face. But also something else that helps is I don't think I do, like even when I'm applying product to my forehead and I have a larger forehead, I will start applying it on the sides of my face, and I try never to actually just like swipe or put a lot of product right in the middle. I'll blend it in toward it, just like using the least amount of product possible helps the efforts of it not looking bad. And I'm not like trying to erase my lines because that's, I mean, impossible unless I get Botox. But I just don't want makeup to make them look worse is really what I'm always after. I've definitely tried products or had days where I'm like, okay, I feel like my forehead looks worse because I put makeup on, which is not what I feel like should be happening. I think I'm gonna finish up the eyes and then we'll powder and all of that. So I'm gonna go back in with the Echo. I'm gonna apply some on my lower lash line. This is what I mean about the skywashes being finicky. I applied just a little bit more on this eye and it like really made a difference. And I've had this experience with liquid shadows too. Like they're just so, like if you put an ounce too much or an ounce too little, like it just really makes you pay. And again, I feel like the REM ones are just so blendable and not finicky, which I really appreciate. I mean, I think that's fine. That's gonna work. It's just like every time I use this, I really have to hold its hand, and I'm really, I guess, previewing my thoughts in my Glossier video, but I don't know. As much as I like the color, it's like, is that worth all the fuss? I'm not convinced. But I do like the eye look. But I mean, again, this is very typical to what I do day to day, and I feel like I can use other products that are not the Skywash to achieve it in a way that is less temperamental. What is essential is a Pat McGrath shade. I mean, if you don't have a Pat McGrath palette or any special shades, you could definitely use like a Super Shock shadow if you have anything, or if you still buy from ColourPop. I know Moira, which is a cheaper brand. I haven't tried them, but REM Beauty really hypes up their, like both their cream shadow formulas. I mean, there's other sparkly things in the world, you know? So you definitely don't have to use Pat McGrath, but in my collection, that's always what I want to reach for because I just love the formula so much and it's exactly what I want. What are we gonna do? I think we're gonna add a little bit of lavender intrigue. So I'm gonna take from REM Beauty, this is the Miss Neptune highlight, and I'm gonna actually use that as my brow bone highlight. I'm gonna go in with this Real Techniques really skinny, small blending brush, and I'm just gonna blend that on the top of my eye look and my brow bone just to add that lavender intrigue, which I think just kind of elevates the look, makes it kind of fun. I like it. I'm gonna go in with my Glossier wowder, just tap some of it out. I've used up a good amount of it, and because of that, it has a netting packaging where you're supposed to put your brush in, but a lot of times I feel like I put my brush in and I don't get enough product, which is annoying, so I just tap it out now through the net. And I usually set the center of my face, like where most people set. I don't set all over. Some days if I'm really feeling dry and cakey, I don't set at all. Wowder is definitely my favorite powder. I feel about Wowder how most people feel about Kosas Cloud Set. Sets and slightly mattifies, but does blur its skin and make the makeup last longer and all of that. I feel like I want to add more bronzer because I feel like the Salt New York wasn't enough for me today. My Gucci bronzer, love of my life. A Rephr 05. It's like my favorite powder bronzer brush. Just gonna kind of tuck that back there. Go up to my forehead. This is the lightest shade in the Gucci range, and it has a very rosy blushy tone that you might think would be not a great bronzer color, but if bronzers always look orange on you and you're really pale, or not even really pale, even if you're light, and bronzers, even if they don't look orange, they look so artificial. That's how I was feeling about specifically powder bronzers. Like every powder bronzer I would try just looked so like, oh wow, you put bronzer on. And I'm not saying this doesn't look like I put bronzer on if you know makeup, but it doesn't look so like bronzer. Try a rosy tone. Jones Road actually just came out with a lot of pink based bronzers, which I know some people aren't happy about. Tone is just so great at being a believable tan on my skin, and I'm gonna swatch it against, I actually don't have any other powder bronzers, but this is the Fenty Butter Biscuit cream cheek shade. Mine's absolutely disgusting, I'm sorry. So yeah, there's Fenty, which I really love the color of this too. It's more of a golden olive, which is really nice for me. But you can see the Gucci looks positively pink and rosy next to it, which also is a good bronzing shade for me. So the more you know. The Gucci price point is it's really expensive, and even though the packaging might feel a little lighter than you would expect, it's really pretty. Also, I know a lot of people hate the Gucci scent in these products. I love it. It smells so good to me. A lot of people are like, it's like rich grandma smell. And I'm like, do I want to smell like a rich grandma? Because I'm into it. Go in with a Refer 04 to Pat McGrath Fleurtacious. I've been finishing off with this a lot because I think it looks really nice to have the cream highlight under. And it just adds just a little bit more color to my cheeks. And I kind of add it like right where my eye look sort of ends in the outer corner. Go down. I'm gonna go in with my Fenty powder highlight and one of the greatest eye brushes to ever exist, this Real Techniques shading brush. I don't even know if you can get it individually. I got it in like a kit that I found at like TJ Maxx. It is the best for the inner corner highlight, or like you can use it for detail work on the lower lash line. It's the best. As you might be able to tell, I have a lot of rougher brushes. I have a lot of Real Techniques brushes. And then I've really been liking the Phytosurgeons one I used a lot. I love an inner corner highlight, so I do usually have one. Now I'm going to go back in with my Rare Beauty spray. It smells like lavender. I think it does have lavender oil in it, so if that's not your gig, then don't buy it. I'll just tap around my forehead lines again to make sure product isn't settling into them in an unflattering manner. Also remove some of the excess. I learned that from Katie Jane Hughes. Mascara. I'm gonna go with my Say one. I also have the Tower 28, which I like, but I've just been using the Say lately for whatever reason. I have sensitive eyes, so I don't use, on the day-to-day, I really don't use eyeliner at all because it's just not an enjoyable process. Oh, actually, you know what? This is gonna be a whole thing I have to explain, so hold on. One, I don't use eyeliner. I have sensitive eyes. I don't like putting things in my waterline or tight lining. It like typically hurts. And I mean, it looks fine sometimes, but not my gig. I don't like using liquid liner. I might get into gel eyeliner this year. I said in my resolutions video that I would be interested, and then a lot of people were like, you should try gel eyeliner. And even like on other videos I've gotten like, you should really try gel eyeliner if you don't like liquid or pencil or whatnot. So I do think I want to at some point, but we're not at that point. Okay, how did I have Do Not Disturb on and then someone called and it stopped recording? Like, I thought Do Not Disturb was supposed to not disturb, I suppose. And then with mascara, I don't curl my lashes for several reasons. One, it hurts. This is a theme. It hurts, and so that's not enjoyable. Two, it's never made a difference, and I know there's hacks about do like pounce on it and like quick curls, and I'm just not interested. I'm not interested. I don't think it makes a difference. It hurts. It's annoying. I've tried a few different eyeshadow. I tried a few different lash curlers. I just don't like them, and I don't really care. I don't care. I just want to be done with mascara. And then I have found that mascaras that don't irritate my eyes are the Ilia Limitless. That's probably my favorite mascara. The Say one does not. The Tower 28 one does not. And yes, those are all clean beauty brands. I don't know if there's I haven't done enough digging and research to know if there is an ingredient in a lot of mainstream mascaras that does irritate my eyes. I don't really know, but I hate just buying a product and then it irritating my eyes, so I've kind of just decided to go more toward the clean route with mascara. Again, I don't know. DK. I don't know if this is considered clean, but the Glossier Lash Slick, that irritated my eyes really badly, actually. So I also don't do tubing mascaras, and that works out just fine for me. So this is the Say one. It's honestly more of just like a lash tint, I would say. Does it perform as well as like a non-clean mascara? No, I definitely think the performance is a little compromised by, I don't know, whatever oil they probably use in here. It can smudge at the end of the day. I don't really mind that too much. I will say if I am doing more of a look, or if I want it to last longer, I'll use the Tower 28 one. But day to day, this is really nice, and it does exactly what I want a mascara to do. It also doesn't clump my lashes, so that's appreciated. This Say one is really nice, though. I'm just trying to get across that I don't think it's for a lot of people. If you're the type of person who does really like your lashes to be long, or you want your products to have really high performance, this is definitely not the mascara for you. I feel like a pretty unimpressive mascara, and that's kind of what I like about it. It's not trying to do much, and I'm like, cool. But those are the finished eyes. Am I pretty? Tell me I'm pretty. Or don't, I guess, but I mean, I would go with I'm pretty. Oh, lips. We have to finish. All right, so I'm gonna wipe off my Glossier Balm.com. One of the lip looks I've been really liking is this e.l.f. lip liner in deep brown, the Love Triangle lip filler liner. It's a liner. Just a really, really sheer amount of this Tower 28 Shine On Lip Jelly in Sesame. I will say I don't love, I wish this e.l.f. pencil was just like a normal pencil. I don't find that the triangle shape helps. I guess it doesn't totally hinder, but it's not enhancing the product, is what I'm trying to say. Now I'll fill them in mostly with that and just kind of blend it around. Try to clean it up a little. I have not the most distinct lip line, and my lips are small. So this Tower 28 lip jelly. At first when I got it, I was like, it's all right. But I love the texture it leaves on my lips. It makes them look really smooth and like a little bit bigger, but just like a really nice, juicy, lovely texture. I do like the color of this one, but for most of the time it's not what I'm going for. So I'd really like to buy another shade that is a little bit more brown neutral, or they have one that's like really, really light pink that I would like to try. But for now, since I don't really want to buy a new one, I've just been doing a really sheer layer of Sesame, which is more like a mauve-y, purpley, violet color, I would say. I've been doing like a really sheer layer, and that's kind of been giving me the look I want with the beautiful texture of the Tower 28. I don't love the applicator. It's like this really stiff little thing. Kind of makes the product glob on to the lips, which is annoying, but oh well. Soft. It makes them look a lot less textured. It's nice. And it lasts like not a short amount of time. Like it doesn't last all day, of course, but it's not like there 1 minute, gone the next, you know? Is that it? Did we do it, y'all? Let me see. Okay. Yes, we did. We did it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this gives you a good idea of what I do day to day, what my makeup application is like. I didn't say this in the beginning, and I don't think anybody would do this, but don't like run out and go buy a bunch of stuff because of this video. You probably have a lot of similar things in your collection that if you really did like the look, which thank you, you could duplicate that with. But yeah, this is just like my go-to look right now, I suppose, or a nice composite of a go-to look for me. You know, not like makeup caked on, but enough makeup that perhaps a server would not call me sir. And you know, that's kind of what we're going for here. So if you did enjoy this, I would love it if you would subscribe or consider subscribing. It would be wonderful to have you join. My friend texted me that I should call, I guess my fandom name should be the Clovers. That's still in beta, but if you want to be a perhaps Clover, or maybe more officially a subscriber of Cloverum, I would absolutely love to have you. It would be awesome if you could give this video a like. Hope you are having a great day, great week, great month, year, life, wherever you are. Bye, y'all.